Here we have it all cleaned out with our new heater core right there. Blew out the condenser here, got that all cleaned up. This down here is a temperature probe that just pulls out of the fins of the grill there when you remove that to clean it all out. So we've blown it out, cleaned it out and everything, and now we're going to reassemble it all here. So we got this is the start. We got the heater core back in, condenser back in. Set down this door here. That fell out when we took it apart, so we're just going to set that back into place right here and then put the top on. So we put the top portion of the heater box assembly here together, and I counted 19 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Clip here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Clip. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So now we've got to put this back on in here, and that'll be another 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 over here. 4 underneath of this thing. So that's 4 more screws for that. Then we've got to hook up our wiring here. It comes over here. So we'll hook that up here, here, and then there's a clip that goes there, down in here. We'll hook that back up. One of the things you want to make sure is you've got your arm connected in here for this door as you're assembling the top piece. So you want to make sure that you get that, and that pretty much covers the reassembly. And then this vacuum hose here to go back on our canister there, and that's pretty much going to cover the reassembly of the heater box. We put the foams back on for our sealing surfaces here. We've installed this top piece. We installed our vacuum line, routed our electrical, got that all good and put back. Got our electrical put back, put our seals on here and here, and we've got our vacuum line coming out through there. And I've got a chunk of hose to repair where this was broken when we reinstall it. Just getting ready to install that heater box after we reassembled it, and we're just taking a look, kind of blow everything clean before we throw it in there. And we've got our drain there. Those are our 3 studs that are gonna go in through there. There's another stud right there on the inside, and we have our bolt right there. Those are the 5 fasteners to hold it on, and then the rest is just the piping to fit through the holes. We've got that one there for the air conditioning, and we've got this one over here for our heater core. So we've got our 2 fasteners here. It's 10 mil there, 10 mil there on the inside. Down underneath here, we've got our 3 fasteners. We've got 1, 2, and 3 right there. So that makes the 5 fasteners. And then we've got our heater hoses in and out for the heater core. And then this is that broken vacuum line. This broken vacuum line that connects to here. So basically that is a new section of hose that I connected from this little canister. I don't know if it's a check valve, and then connected to what we had left for that hose there. And then I tie wrapped it in hopes that it won't vibrate or get damaged again. We're going to move on to our AC lines here. So now we want to make sure we got everything really clean and take our time putting this back together so that when it gets recharged we don't have any junk in there or anything like that. This is that block that goes on for the air conditioning. There's two T27 Torx bits that hold that on. And now we're going to bolt on the hose here, and that should be a 13 millimeter head fastener for that end. And then on this end, we got 10 mil fastener here and an 8 mil fastener there. We've got the dash back in, and we put all kind of snugged up all the fasteners there. If you remember, there's 2 at the top here. Those are 13. There's 2 10 mil nuts over there. Underneath, there's going to be 2 13 there, 2 13 here, and 2 13 on the other side. So that should cover all the bolts for bolting in the dash. Make sure that we've got to fish through our cables and our vacuum line for the heater control. And this right here is actually from the shifter. That's when you got to put your key in and turn it to accessory to be able to shift your linkage. That's what locks it, I guess, in the key cylinder, I believe. Next, we're going to tackle the wiring. So what I did was I extended all the wires from the engine side of the firewall, which was the brown and white for that command start. And then I made all of those wires off the command start. I'd cut them to remove the dash, and now I've made them unpluggable. So if we ever had to remove the dash again, then you just unplug the ends. And then what I did was I put the 2 ground wires right here, right close to the fuse box, so you'll see it when you take this off and know that where they are, nice and easy to access, so on and so forth. So next, we're gonna slowly start assembling the wiring. So we've got our plugs in either door that we want to put in. We've got our OBD reader right there. We have to put all this stuff up, tie wrap that up underneath the dash there for the command start. This is for the steering column. Now, in all honesty, it looks like we didn't need to remove the radio or the disc player or any of that, because none of that stuff. The only ones we had to feed through the dash to put the dash in was for the heater control and for that shifter. So this did not have to be removed, but we got to reassemble it anyway. So that's what we're working on next. We cleaned up all the wiring here, so we've done the wiring on both doors. We started off with those, get those out of the way. I found the best way to do that is actually to have the gray plug come out and assemble the boot onto the black socket, I guess, and then push the gray plug in there, and then push the whole thing back into the hole. We cleaned up all that wiring underneath here for the command start. We connected our radio cable, connected the wiring on the other side there. We plugged in those 2 at the top. Did the OBD reader on the bottom here. We put in all this stuff that I took off. Now, just as a reminder, these things don't need to come off, but I removed the glove box. That does not have to come off. And I also removed the radio, that pocket, and the 6 CD changer at the bottom. All of that doesn't have to be removed. So we got the dash fully assembled here. We finished assembling all the controls in the center there. We put in the steering column, plugged everything in, put in all these trim rings around the gauges and underneath the steering column, around the steering column, the end caps, the kick boards, the pillar arms. The only thing left now is now's a good time to give it a good vacuum and throw in the center console and the seats. So we got the seats and the center console back in there, got everything all cleaned up. 15 mil on those seats, and 6 screws for that center console. Last thing left to do here is just continue to pour antifreeze in, let this thing run, warm up, let all the bubbles come out. In this car, this will be the highest point, so air rises and get all that air out of the system. We wanted to open up that thermostat and cycle the antifreeze all through the system, so you want to get it running temperature, keep it there for a while, and just keep letting the air bubble out and adding coolant as you need to.